Alright. Hopefully this thing doesn't mess up like the last video did, because that kind of sucked, and I was like, oh, damn it, while I was trying to editing it, so I just... Anyways, hopefully you're not just listening to my camera audio, and I actually have the video this actually fucking working. In any case, this is Iyanu, episode 4. Yes, episode 4 of Iyanu, which... Okay, I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite. A little bit. Especially whenever I get episode 6... for Owlwolf Town out, which, if you don't know what Owlwolf Town is, that's my own little animated show. So I'm literally the only person working on it. Hopefully I get some more voice actors and stuff like that for it, but really it's just me. I want to say this right now. This show needs to stop with its world building. A little bit. Okay, specifically. Okay, because last episode I talked about, like, there has to be more world building. And I do think there is. There has to be. Like, for example, I'm kind of interested to see how these river people are, because these, like, turns out, like, there's now no, is it the river people, or is it the underwater people? Get out of here. People of the deep. The people of the deep, which I assume means they're from an ocean, I guess? They're not going to have them underground, right? People of the deep sounds water-based. In any case, I want to see how this plays out, but... Okay, so there's a lot of going back and forth between Iyanu and the town, even though I feel like a lot of this episode was back at the town, which also, it's becoming very apparent this show did not have a budget big enough for it, or like big enough for what they're trying to do, and that kind of sucks, but also I feel like they need to learn, if there's a season 2, they need to focus the hell in, because just for example, if I was gonna re-edit this show, stop again going back to the town. Stop it. If anything, have the town be, again, mysterious, that we don't know what's happening there. And I know this is based off a comic, and maybe I'll reread the comic, so double check. It's probably done a lot better. Hopefully, I assume the pacing is probably done a little bit better than what's being done here. But they keep cutting back to the town. And again, it's like, I don't necessarily care too much about all this. And it's like, see, there's people trying to help reform the town. But it's also like, why do I kind of... Like, I don't necessarily care about the town. Like, just for example, of just a really good example of this... Just real quick. This is like taking Avatar The Last Airbender. Again, Avatar The Last Airbender. And in the first 3 episodes, we kept cutting back to the Fire Nation, showing us how shitty the Fire Lord is to their people. But then cutting back to the Avatar. Well, again, within the first 4 episodes, and we're kind of learning Fire Nation politics, even though, you know, we're worried about, like, except when we should be more focusing on the Avatar, not the Fire Nation and their evil politics, and that this guy was evil. The town, we should only be learning a little bit about it. Like, again, a big way they could have easily done this, by the 2nd episode, have her come to the river town where Mama Odie is. I can't remember her actual name, it was Mama something. And, again, have her explain. Have her explain, and you could even show little flashbacks and stuff like that. Because Iyanu has never really been in the town, so she kind of just always assumed it was good in there. And then from Mama Odie, we could get a little bit of, like, you know, our town was ransacked. It was just, you know, our town's, you know, the working conditions are terrible. The working conditions are terrible. The people are, you know, hungry, the rich do nothing. Like, something like that would be a little better. Like, I legit kind of want to rewatch Onyx Equinox, because that was a show that you did visit a shit ton of towns really quick. Also, apparently, it was confirmed, like, a few months ago by the creator. Maybe it was last year, I'm not entirely sure. That, like, because I guess Crunchyroll Studios ended, so now we're definitely not getting season 2 of Onyx Equinox, which sucks, but also, I kind of want to just rewatch it. But there is more to it, I feel like. Like, just like, again, the different towns, stuff like that. Like, I'm interested to see how these people are with their masks and stuff, but also on that same note, I don't know how they, like, how can I tell, like, I guess maybe the spears are fishing spears? Actually, I want to look up real quick. Because there has to be, like... Hold on. Let me switch on OBS real quick. Because I want to make this harder to edit if my audio gets screwy. I'm going to move you over here. Remind me later. Okay. Let's see. All right. Start recording there. All right. Okay, so... All right. Okay, so this is Iyanu. Iyanu, the animated series. Okay. I want to see what does the art style look like in the thing. But not even then, that's not even really needed. But, okay, it looks like outfit-wise, there's somewhat... They're very... Okay, the art looks pretty good in this. How's the... Wait a minute, how does this look? Do you believe in the child of wonder? Let me see here. Get out of here, you. 500 years ago. Okay. So we actually see, like, more of the fight, it looks like. Let's see. B.I. is the street rat's case. Yeah, it is. Because the writing feels slightly off, and some things do feel a bit like how the character is speaking feels a slightly little stilted. That does look pretty sick, though. I kind of want to read the actual comic and then compare it to this. Let's see, because this is when Iyanu runs off, it looks like. Volume 1, The Child of Wonder. Do you believe in the Child of Wonder? That's right, her running through the forest. So this looks like when she's... Get out of here, forest girl. Okay. Assuming these are all together... These are probably not exactly the same. But yeah, she goes, and then people are already just telling her to get lost. Like she already, like, they just don't like her in general. I feel like the comic probably did some of these a little bit better. Ooh, I like her symbol in there. Why? Wait a minute. Why did they give her a star on her hands when it looks like it was more like a roundish, like, dot symbols, when I'm pretty sure it's probably more like African symbols than the original. Whatever. Okay, pretty much I just wanted to bring that up, I guess. Because... Okay, so the animation is switching between different... The money is going to... Okay. I'm already 8 minutes in, so I apologize. Okay, so the reason for my opening of this. They need to stop cutting back to the town. Maybe hint at it through some small little imagery, stuff like that. Single images, that's fine. So you talk about how there's corruption in the town, or there's snake, that some of the corrupted beasts are slowly getting in. So that'll be... I think that would be a lot better. Because they can then focus on Iyanu as well as the main cast. Because there are some things in this where I'm just kind of... Oh, actually, I like this image here. I'm not sure if you can see that. I think you probably okay, but the image of here where you see the panther lit up blue here. So, like, showing the corruption being purified eventually. Which we haven't done yet. But... I feel like... Okay, so there's a scene. And I'm saying it because of this. Okay, so, like, again, cut out... Because you cut out all the voice actors for almost everyone in the town. Cut out all their voice actors. We don't need them. We're going to focus. Mama Odie gives a little bit of that. We can watch the Shadow Man. Don't remember what the hell his name was. The Shadow Man, we could see as, he's the leader, and maybe we see some scenes of all we see of the inner town, again, re-editing it, all we see of the inner town is when he's behind, like, the king and him giving the orders. And then, like, again, another way we could easily have it. The people, like, yeah, show don't tell, I get that, but also we don't need to know fully just yet, or if we're told anything, tell it through some imagery, but small imagery. Because, like, why, like, the Shadow Man slowly, because I'm still not sure, where did the Shadow Man go to get that lamp that has the Fallen in it, or wherever I'm assuming that's the Fallen there, who has the Fallen in it? Like, who did that? And also, like, his parents and Iyanu's stepmom's parents apparently sent them there as spies to take over so they could release their people, but their people are, I'm assuming, this was like 30, 40 years ago, so I don't know. Why do I care about his backstory right now, too? Like, I feel like you could have left a lot of this in the dark of what was happening in the town, so that way you could focus again on Iyanu. Because, again, half of this is cut between the town, and then half of it's on Iyanu. And there's some bits where they're trying to do, like, the anime, like, what? But they're not, like, committing to it. Like, instead of it, like, you know, a character will go, what? Instead of, you know, it being like, you know, what? Like, something like it doesn't have to be like, it's stupid like I just did. But something along the lines of, like, you know, the, you know, face, like, or chibi face going, ah, like, something like that. Versus just them, like, kind of standing there, saying it. It's like, I don't know. I feel like you could do a little bit more with there. Especially because it seems like Iyanu and B are kind of supposed to be a thing. Or it's supposed to be kind of, like, hinting at it. But also, I wouldn't surprise me, B is actually the son of the Shadow Man somehow. Wouldn't surprise me. But, yeah, but, like, it's really, like, the animation is odd in this. It's very odd. It's very stilted. I feel like if you would cut away the voice actors for the town and just kept it where I was focused on Iyanu, and just we hear a little bit of what's happening in town again through, like, the people coming to the king, and then the vizier's the one, like, saying, no, shut up. Like, I feel like we would get more info with less of weird stilted things. And also, I do actually want to know, and I'm sure the comic probably explains it more, I'm gonna probably read the comic so I could actually review that while also with the show. But what's the big deal with corrupted animals? Like, I legit kind of want to know. Maybe I forgot or missed it. What makes them less dangerous than regular animals that are just dangerous? Like the giant jaguar that can atomic breath. I understand that one, but like what about any other animal? Oh, like they're like, oh my god, it's a corrupted rabbit. Is it like a zombie virus? If they get bit, does the virus does the person who gets bit become corrupted? Because then I would see a really big, like, reason of, like, holy shit, there's corrupted snakes up there. But other than that, it's like, wow, there's snakes up there. Get the axe. Like get the spear. Like, die, snake. Like, I don't know. I know there's some butchers in that town. I'm sure they could just go like, well, I don't know. But yeah, like, we need to stop focusing on the town. We need to focus on Iyanu and her interactions with BE, as well as, and I would say also, as well as following the guard's kid, the book kid. I can't remember his name. The book kid. If anything, again, Avatar is kind of the basis I'm trying to think of off of this. We should, like, soon as Iyanu ran off, it should have been focusing on Iyanu and maybe the book kid. And I say that in a sense because Iyanu is going to interact with B, and from B, that we're going to get a little bit more of that info, a little bit of that. But then also we're going to have a book kid with his guard dad and the others, like, coming after her. And then also, again, we'll cut back to the Shadow Man slowly uncovering whatever false wonders are in that bottle, and it's most likely the Fallen and all that stuff. Like, I feel like that would be a better way to focus it, and then you could also distribute the distribute the animation between all of it, because this episode, and I haven't really even talked much about this episode, and I apologize, because that was the big thing that was kind of throwing me off, because it is a major part of the story. Okay, just to kind of show off this bit real quick, because it's really it's where you kind of notice it feels a little wonky. You get the joke they're going for. You get the joke of I can handle a few, and then just snakes slithering up. It's a lot of snakes. I feel like there should have been a more emotion either in that saying it, or even just zoom in on her face or something, a little bit to kind of push that comedy a little bit more. And then God, it's the very beginning. I know it's things gonna take. See again, what is the fear here? Why aren't they just taking a spear and just going nah, nah, dead? Is there a reason? What does the corruption do to these animals? There was a corrupted tortoise at one point. It's what is this corruption doing? What does it do? I feel like if there's a corrupted tortoise, there should be it should again be shit's just wrapping around it, and it just looks like a god. It looks like some kind of demon or something. Okay, hold on. This part. Watch this. Watch this. There's only... Watch it. Did you hear that? Please tell me you heard that. Okay, here. I don't know. Let me see. Okay.
You're chosen. You will actually know. Does she have lightning inside her, divine mullet? Did you really see her camera? Tell us everything.
Yeah. And you see the kid in the back. I'm there's supposed to be a fourth kid in the background, and we just never saw him. And mind you, the art style isn't bad. Again, but I feel like where the money should have went was more into certain animation bits and less to some of these voice actors, some of these other animations. Why animate all these people? Why animate these people or have these voice actors when just take that money and throw it into your animation budget, and then focus on Iyanu and stuff like that. You would lower the amount of people you need for the cast. You would allow it to focus more solely on Iyanu, so we can listen more about her. Because really, all we kind of get right now is that she now found out she was the chosen one, and within a week, she has to learn how to have inner peace. So that way she can then learn to use her supernatural. It's kind of like if you took Avatar The Last Airbender. Again, I'm going to keep focusing on that. It's like if you took Avatar The Last Airbender, and then in episode 3, they said, you have to master the Avatar state. And you got to master it right now. And it's that's... What? No, maybe master some of the other abilities before you start learning the Avatar state or something like that. I don't know. It's really weird. And then also her motivations seem a little weird. Cause it's obviously she wants to go save her mom, but also she has to then also go to the source. So then it's just a question of, and I guess I don't know. It's really weird. And then again, it's weird that Amama Odie's the one teaching her all this when I feel like her stepmom should have been the one that taught her majority of this beforehand. Or unless there was some reason why she couldn't. I don't know. This episode, there wasn't really much. I will say the cool thing is the book kid, he does impress his dad a little bit when he shows that he's able to track better than some of the other trackers. I'm okay, that's interesting. He's able to track better than some of the other trackers. This kid kind of brings up a little bit of his backstory, which again, I feel like this should have been the main thing. Just focus on the 3 kids. Focus on Iyanu eventually until he meets with B or whatever his name is. Then and then with him we see the book kid with his dad. We kind of see the dad slowly kind of becoming softer and stuff like that, or shows that he does at least care. I just don't like. We could have done without any of the town stuff. And then, that, like, we just keep cutting back and I'm like, why? I don't want to know what's happening in the town. I want to know what's happening with Iyanu, with this new world that we're supposed to be introduced to. All so far that we've gotten is it's just kind of there. It's just that this area's made its forest land and that's it. So, I don't know. Hopefully the next ones will feel a little bit more better, I guess. I don't know. Because even then, now I think about it, even Onyx Equinox, like, there's even some kind of, like, stuff where they talk, well, again, they don't have to, I don't think they have to straight show it, but they still talk about stuff like the world, the ancient world, when the world got remade a few times beforehand, where, like, there's the apes or the jaguars, which it ties into, actual mythology and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure if Iyanu, I wonder if how much of Iyanu actually takes from African mythology. I'm kind of wondering. Because there are stuff with, like, the age of, like, the gods and stuff like that. But, like, I don't know, I feel like we would see Anansi around here somewhere, or, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. But, again, maybe I'm just not that more into the mythology, because I don't know if there's a fallen in Africa. I'm not saying it has to follow it 1-to-1 or anything like that, but I feel like you could at least take a little bit more inspiration from that. And I will say that the designs are okay, but I would like a little bit more dynamic designs with some of these characters. But anyways, like, I think a good example is kind of Black Panther. But anyways, it's interesting. I still want to follow with it, but again, I do feel like there's a bit of mismanagement on what should be shown and what is being shown. I don't, especially if I just read that correctly on that comic, and, like, it's literally just like, yeah, no, like, that whole thing where Iyanu accidentally goes into the inner wall and she sees Book Kid and they told her to leave and all that stuff wasn't even in the main thing. I feel like that would have been a lot better, because again, we don't know what's happening in there. We just know that for some reason she's hated and kicked out, or, like, get out of here, Forest Lander, and told her to kick out, and that's kind of it. I don't know. So anything else below, thanks for watching. And again, I'm, like, mind you, I brought up Owl of Time and said I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, because there's a point in the next episode, there's a lot of characters in it. Which, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how I'm gonna voice them all. I think maybe I could get some helpful voice acting. I don't know. I might be boned. But, like, I'm gonna try. But also, on that same note, I'm also having all the time in the world to make the next episode, because I'm just doing it however I want. Where these guys had a budget, had this, and I feel like you could have cut a lot of shit to make it more streamlined, and to make it to where we were following Iyanu more. I want to follow Iyanu. I want to see what's going to happen with her. I want to see her try to master her abilities, or at least, learn to manipulate them better. But it feels like we're just cutting back and forth, and we're seeing less of the training, less of the interaction with her and the others, and because of that, we're losing a lot more story. But again, I'm interested in it. The idea of the unnatural, natural, and supernatural, and then having that ties a connection with it. I want to know where the hell that goes. I do. Anyways, quick little thing. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Share videos. Hopefully enjoy this. Also, I will say, though, too, like, I love the hunter that is following Iyanu's tracks, which also, last time I said, like, these look like her track, and they're like these big-ass feet, and I'm like, I don't think those are her tracks. But then in this one, he's like, it looks like she was running, and then there was a giant animal going after her. And we see a giant, and, like, he's like, I can tell this from the tracks, and the tracks are these big-ass jaguars, these big-ass, like, bigger than my head size footprints of a jaguar. And all I'm looking at it, I'm like, ain't gonna lie, but I don't think you need to be a tracker to figure out there was a big-ass animal here. Like, anyways, I'm honestly, tomorrow I'm gonna get paid. I'm probably gonna buy the first book of Iyanu just so I can read it to see if it's exactly the same or not. But yeah, and I'll get back to you. Maybe I'll do a video where I'm reviewing the episodes, but then also reviewing the book as I finish it. Who knows? But anyways, thanks for watching. Check out my videos. Hopefully enjoy this, and we will. See you later. Again, this is cool. And again, I honestly want to go rewatch Onyx Equinox just so I can, like, make sure I'm not bullshitting and make sure, like, I was like, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Because there were so many cool things. Like, again, I remember, yeah, there was an entire town filled with people with bird wings. And I'm like, I want to know more of that. I don't know much about any of these other places that they're in right now. And I think that was, like, episode 4 or 5 of Onyx Equinox.